Ah, the warm weather's finally here. You know what that means, right? It's almost road trip season. Time to get the top down. The wind is low, the wind blowing through your hair. Ah, freedom on four wheels. Before you hit the gas pedal and cruise into oblivion, let me give you a little something to think about before you take that next road trip. I've got 5 great tales of horror on the highway that'll stomp your heart flatter than a possum on the interstate. So buckle up, freaks. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
What we need is a female victim of sudden death. Can you do it?
He's gone from here. The evil is gone.
We must create from the beginning. We must build up our own creature. Build it up from nothing.
What an excellent take for an exorcism.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It is entitled Naturam de Manto, roughly translated, Book of the Dead.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What's up, horror freaks? I'm your undead horror guide, Bony Stiff, and welcome back to another wild ride through the Emporium of Dread.
Play with us.
Buckle up, because today we're taking a little detour down some of the most dangerous highways in horror history. From terrifying truckers to cultists on the open road, we've got 5 films that'll have you looking over your shoulder and questioning every roadside diner you pass. That's right, folks, we're talking highway horror, when the asphalt is slick with blood and the only thing faster than your heartbeat is the villain on your tail. Whether you're cruising through the desert or stuck in a never-ending traffic jam, there's one thing you can count on: a road trip's not safe unless you're already dead. And in this twisted little list, we've got 5 films that'll make you think twice about the next time you hit the highway, and probably make you want to stick to the couch where it's safe. So grab your snacks, lock the doors, and remember, if you see a creepy guy on the side of the road, don't stop. Just don't stop.
Aren't you kind of young to be hitchhiking out here all by yourself?
Aren't you kind of old to be picking me up?
First up, we got Road Games from 1981, starring Stacy Keach and the Scream Queen herself, Jamie Lee Curtis. This film takes us on a joyride through the outback as we follow Quid, a happy-go-lucky trucker who finds himself in a little cat-and-mouse game across the Australian wilderness. See, Quid stumbles upon what may or may not be a serial killer with a taste for young hitchhikers. So he does what any self-respecting man of the road would do. He puts his best detective skills to work. He's like Sherlock Holmes at the helm of an 18-wheeler.
This same guy picked up a hitchhiker last night. And then about 4:30 this morning, he watched the garbage bags being collected outside the motel. And now he's burying more garbage. Doesn't that seem a little weird to you, lady?
And with the help of his furry sidekick Boswell, the dingo, they set out to uncover the truth behind the mystery man in the green van.
Kinda caught you with your pants down, didn't we, you slimy son of a bitch?
Don't worry, this dingo won't eat your baby, but he does have a hankering for a homicidal maniac with a thirst for lot lizards. This movie is basically Rear Window on wheels. You're constantly second-guessing what's real and what's just highway paranoia. The tension builds up every passing mile, making you feel just as trapped on the open road as Quid himself. Jamie Lee Curtis plays Hitch, a hitchhiker who gets tangled up into Quid's detective work, adding charm and wit, and a much-needed extra set of eyes to watch their backs.
Did he make love to her first?
I don't know. What's the difference?
It makes a lot of difference. I think in order to play the game properly, we have to know what he thinks of women.
And then there's the killer. This guy keeps things low-key, lurking in the background just enough to make you wonder if Quid's losing his mind or actually onto something sinister. And let's not forget the setting. The Australian outback isn't just a backdrop. It's a character in itself. Beautiful, vast, and absolutely terrifying. When you realize there's nowhere to run once you're out there. The only way forward is straight into whatever nightmare is waiting for you up the road. If I ever see a green van creeping behind me on a deserted highway, I'm flooring it until I hit the ocean. Or a kangaroo willing to throw hands. Look, the outback's already got spiders the size of your face and snakes that can kill you just by thinking about it. Do we really need a hitchhiker hunting psycho on top of that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about sex. I am talking about sex.
Alright, horror freaks, buckle up, because this next flick is a little less highway paranoia and a little bit more highway hellspawn.
Gay fever. No, gay forever. Gay forever. Ha, that's mine. That's 3 for little bros.
That's a 6, not a G, you idiot. That's sexy forever. That's mine. That's 5 to 2.
We're talking about Jeepers Creepers from 2001. This is the movie that took road trip horror, stuffed it into a body bag, and tossed it down a murder pit. We follow Trish and Derry, 2 siblings on a long drive home from college, who make the fatal mistake of paying too close attention to a creepy rusted-out truck dumping something suspicious down a drain pipe. Now, if that were me, I'd mind my own business and keep driving. But no, these two decide to check it out because apparently their survival instincts came with an off switch. And what do they find? Oh, just a freaking nightmare. Turns out they cross paths with the Creeper, a bat-winged organ-harvesting cryptid with the face of Freddy Krueger and the fashion sense straight out of the Dust Bowl. See, this thing wakes up every 23 years to chow down on human body parts like he's at an all-you-could-eat buffet. And wouldn't you know it, Trish and Derry just made it on the menu. This movie doesn't waste any time, it throws you straight into the deep end. The opening highway sequence is pure terror. And with that rusty death truck barreling down on you like it's a pissed-off semi from Duel, and just when you think it's all about vehicular horror, the movie flips the switch and drops you into a creature feature. And this dude isn't just a monster, he's got personality. He whistles while he works, sniffs out his prey like a demented bloodhound, and even sets traps to mess with his victims. Ah, and that song. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? I don't know, probably from some poor guy who had a run-in with this winged ghoul. It's the kind of soundtrack choice that makes the already creepy movie 10 times worse.
That's the song. That's the song. The words to sing. Listen.
So where did you get those eyes?
What is the matter with you?
That's the song. It's the same song that she was playing. That lady on the phone.
Now, thanks to this film, I can't hear that song without immediately checking over my shoulder. And the film's setting with that vast empty stretch of road is terrifying all on its own. There's no gas station, no phone service, no way out. Just a long, endless road and something in the shadows waiting to pounce. Look, if I see a rusty truck covered in blood hauling something suspicious down the highway, I'm not investigating. I'm calling the cops, changing my name, leaving the country. But hey, those two just had to play Scooby-Doo. Except this mystery ends with someone losing their damn eyeballs. Alright, horror freaks, if Jeepers Creepers taught us not to mess with creepy trucks, then the Hitcher from 1986 is here to remind us why you should never, under any circumstances, pick up a hitchhiker.
My mother told me never to do this.
Seriously, I don't care if they look like they just stepped out of a GQ photo shoot. If they're standing on the side of a deserted highway in the middle of nowhere, keep driving. Unfortunately, our boy Jim Halsey didn't get the memo. So here's the setup. Jim, a fresh-faced young dude on a cross-country drive, spots a guy stranded on the side of the road during a rainstorm. Being a good Samaritan, he offers the guy a ride. This has to be the worst decision Ponyboy's ever made since starring in Soul Man.
Get my heroin and my hypodermic needle, bitch.
Enter John Ryder, played by Rutger Hauer, who delivers one of the most unsettling villain performances ever. At first, Ryder is just off, quiet, intense, too calm. Then 5 minutes into the ride, he casually drops the line, "I cut off his legs and his arms and his head, and I'm gonna do the same to you." And boom, just like that, Jim realizes he's trapped in a car with the devil himself. From that moment on, the movie never lets up. Ryder turns Jim's road trip into a waking nightmare, stalking him across the desert, framing him for murders and popping up at every turn like some supernatural force of chaos. And then just when you think Jim might get a break, nah, Ryder's right there waiting, grinning like a shark that's just smelled blood in the water. Ah, the suspense. This film is relentless. It doesn't rely on jump scares or over-the-top gore. It's all about the psychological torment. Ryder doesn't just want to kill Jim, he wants to break him. Every escape is met with a deadlier trap, and every attempt at help just makes things worse. And if Satan ever needed a getaway driver, he'd call John Ryder. Rutger Hauer plays him with this calm, eerie intensity that makes your skin crawl. He doesn't rant or rave, he barely even raises his voice. He just exists, and somehow that's scarier than any knife-wielding maniac. The film constantly flips the script. Ryder doesn't just talk to Jim, he manipulates him into looking guilty at every turn. Cops don't believe him, strangers won't help him, and every move he makes only tightens the noose around his neck. And that empty stretch of desert highway, pure isolation, no towns, no help, just miles of nothing, which is the perfect playground for a guy like Ryder. If some drifter ever hops into my car and starts monologuing about hacking people to pieces, I'm tucking and rolling out of that vehicle at 80 miles per hour. Road rash is temporary. Hitchhiking psychos, not so much.
Hi, kid. I don't want to die! Yeah!
The terror starts the moment you stop for the Hitcher.
Alright freaks, next up we've got Duel from 1971. The movie that proves your morning commute could in fact be a fight to the death. This film was directed by some up-and-comer named Steven Spielberg. Yeah, that guy. This flick takes the simplest setup ever and cranks the tension to 11.
That's sick, man. That's sick.
So here's the deal. We follow this guy, David Mann, who's just an average Joe businessman who's trying to make a routine drive through the California desert. But then, cue ominous music. He overtakes a rusty, smoke-belching semi-truck. No big deal, right? Wrong, because this truck, it takes offense. David finds himself hunted down by a faceless, relentless driver hell-bent on turning him into roadkill. Well, that's Duel in a nutshell. One long, heart-pounding, rubber-burning nightmare where the enemy is just a truck, no explanation, no motivation, no face, just pure mechanical menace. And somehow it's terrifying.
I'd like to report a truck driver that's been endangering my life. Name again? David Mann.
Ah, the suspense. This is Spielberg flexing hard before he even knew he was Spielberg. The entire movie is basically one long chase scene, but it never gets boring. The way the truck lurks in the background, the way it toys with David, the way it just won't stop. It's the ultimate anxiety trip. And the truck, I mean, what is this thing? A possessed demon? A metal Grim Reaper? The original Christine? The fact that we never see the driver just makes it worse. It's not just a truck, it's an unstoppable force. It moves with purpose, like it's alive, and that's somehow scarier than a guy in a mask with a knife. And David, man, well, poor dude just wanted to make a business meeting. And now he's fighting for his life against Optimus Prime's evil twin. Dennis Weaver plays him perfectly. A regular guy caught in a waking nightmare, going from confused to terrified to full-blown desperate as the truck keeps closing in. This film is pure 1970s practical effects magic. The truck is massive, the chases are intense, and Spielberg knew exactly how to film it so you feel every swerve, every crash, and every near miss. And the final showdown? Ah, chef's kiss. Look, being hunted by some backwoods killer is one thing. But being mercilessly pursued by a faceless, unstoppable force, that's some cosmic horror type stuff right there. The fact that there's no reason for any of this just makes it even worse. If a truck ever starts chasing me down a highway for literally no reason, I'm pulling full U-turn, driving straight to a junkyard, and making sure that thing gets turned into soda cans. Because there's road rage, and then there's whatever the hell this is. Alright, horror freaks, let's hit the road for Race with the Devil, the film that asks, what if your relaxing RV trip turned into a full-blown satanic nightmare? Released in 1975, this bad boy throws Peter Fonda and Warren Oates into a deadly game of keep driving or die.
Turn off that light!
It's getting late and I'm gonna get stuck driving this thing all day tomorrow.
Shut up! Turn it off! See this?
Because when the local townfolk are a bunch of devil-worshipping psychos, stopping is not an option. So here's the setup. Two couples, Frank, Roger, and their wives, are on a cross-country road trip in their fancy new RV. They pull over for a little R&R in the great outdoors when, whoops, they accidentally witness a full-on satanic ritual murder. And the cult? Yeah, they see them watching. What follows is a paranoia-filled high-speed escape as the gang realizes everyone around them could be in on it. The gas station attendant, shady. The cops, useless. The friendly strangers at the RV park might just sacrifice you to Beelzebub. It's The Hills Have Eyes meets Easy Rider, and it rules.
What is it? Oh. An orgy, maybe?
Yeah.
Huh? Let me look.
Once it gets going, the movie doesn't let up. Once the cult knows our heroes saw too much, it's full-throttled paranoia. Every town, every stop, every back road, they're always being watched. And when the actual car chases kick in, absolute mayhem. These Satanists are committed, and apparently they love ramming vehicles off the road. Peter Fonda and Warren Oates are absolute legends, and their chemistry is fantastic. You really believe these guys are best friends who just wanted to have a nice vacation and instead got a one-way ticket to Hellsville, USA.
Didn't anybody see anything? Well, that door was pried on with a chisel. So don't tell me nobody heard nothing!
This movie leans into that fear, strange symbols, eerie chanting, and people staring just a little too long. It all builds that feeling that nowhere is safe. The film's packed with high-speed RV action, car flips, and shootouts. Race with the Devil makes sure you feel every hit, crash, and near miss. These aren't just casual highway chases, they're life or death brawls on wheels. And the ending? Well, I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say, if you thought things would calm down by the time the credits roll, guess again. Look, if I ever stumble onto a cult mid-sacrifice, I'm not watching. I'm running like I just stole gas in a Mad Max movie. And if an entire town suddenly starts acting weird around me, I'm not stopping for snacks. I'm out of there. RV trips are supposed to be relaxing, but this one, straight to hell. No GPS required.
Well, that's the bad part of it. A bunch of hippies moved into this area, smoked their shit, stuffed garbage up his nose and into the arm. When respectable people like you come along, well, it's no longer a beautiful place.
Well, these weren't hippies that we saw, Sheriff.
Same difference. They all gotta get stoned to do whatever they do.
Well, that's it, horror freaks. 5 killer road trip nightmares to keep you checking your rear view mirror. Now, who's ready to put the pedal to the metal and marathon these bad boys? Well, that wraps up our little joyride through highway horror, where the only pit stops are paranoia and the only roadside attractions want you dead. So the next time you hit the open road, just remember if a creepy van starts tailing you, a truck driver won't stop staring, or a whole town seems a little too friendly, floor it and never look back. Now, if you enjoyed this terrifying tour of road rage gone wrong, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a trip to the Emporium of Dread. And if you want more horror-fueled madness, be sure to follow me on social media where I keep the scares rolling even when the cameras aren't. Got a favorite killer road trip movie I didn't mention? Drop it in the comments. I want to know what films make you double-check your rearview mirror. Well, that's all for now, freaks. Until next time, keep the lights low and stay stiff.
Warning signs of satanic behavior.